China, a vast land with one of the most diverse cultures on Earth, now revealed like never before. This epic journey from the air will discover how ancient traditions, engineering, agriculture, and natural wonders shaped this great nation and continue to forge modern-day China. After centuries in seclusion, China is now revealed.
The China's landscape is about the same size of USA, or Canada, or Australia, but has to support much more populations than these countries. So Chinese people have much less per capita resource. China's large area and population can be compared with that of the whole Europe. Fortunately, China is already a united nation, while Europe is still on the way of unification. They use various languages to dispute over the union's validity. China's land and resource is an important part of our global Earth. China's people and culture is the main body of the human society.
China, a land of nearly 1.4 billion people. 92% are Han Chinese. But across its 3.6 million square miles, there are 55 other ethnic groups, speaking 120 living languages. This aerial journey will cross China's immense interior of mountains and deserts, mighty rivers and great forests, to reveal a hidden culture of great complexity, only now opening up for the world to see.
全部听那个敲锣的指挥，一响一滑嘛，就是锣声一响就滑一下，要不然就全乱了。
Unfortunately, this year, Yan's boat was on the losing side.
明年我一定会来，因为这个划龙船。
The festival continues the next day with the main event, perhaps the most epic water fight on Earth. Some 100,000 people gather here for the battle you could say is the ultimate Waterloo. Soaking your opponents on this grand scale has a religious basis. It's to wash away the sorrows of the past year and welcome the new. A tradition handed down for 900 years. This is symbolized best by the Leshan Buddha, an immense statue carved from a mountain that took nearly a century to complete. The 1,200-year-old Leshan Buddha. It's the world's largest Buddhist statue. It took 3 generations of workers, an incredible 90 years, to chip away at a mountain and complete this colossus. The middle finger alone is the height of a 3-story building. But why was this exceptionally large monument to Buddha built here?
这一坨大佛是，它是在三江汇流的地方。
Carved to watch over and provide protection for travelers and sailors, this edifice succeeded, but not by design. During excavation, millions of cubic feet of stone were dumped into the water, which inadvertently changed the course of the river, making it
每一个时代有每一个人不同的福相。唐代呢，它的社会是生活非常富裕，人呢画得比较肥胖，比较端庄肥胖一些，这就是唐代的特点。所以我们这个大佛呢，它也有传达的有这个特点。
Natural formation shaped by the area's unusual geology. Tianmenshan, known as the Heaven's Gate Cave. To get here, you must first drive one of the world's most dangerous roads, the Tongtian Highway. Marked by 99 sharp bends, in just over 6 miles, it climbs over 3,000 vertical feet. The first stop, the mountain forests of Zhangjiajie. Thousands of precarious peaks reach up to 3 times the height of the Empire State Building. It's a breathtaking mystical scene that provided inspiration for the alien landscapes of the movie Avatar. A wonder of geology that draws people from all over the world. To cope with the 30 million annual visitors, the Chinese... To reach their final dramatic destination, the class catches the world's longest cableway, a heart-stopping ride, more than 4 miles long. And then they climb 999 steps to reach, at last, their final destination.
这就是张家界最美的景点千门洞。
This epic natural feature was seen to be a gateway to paradise.
其实世界上的天生桥的类型很多它的高度
It was destined to be a nation at constant war with itself, until one man decided to build the world's largest man-made structure, the Great Wall of China. The longest man-made structure on Earth runs from the Pacific Ocean to the Gobi Desert. Laid out, its individual sections stretch for 13,000 miles, longer than the length of North and South America combined. In 221 BC, the first emperor of China decided to stop the constant conflict by uniting the country against foreign invaders. He ordered existing and scattered fortifications to be connected into one great wall. Today, the horde still descend on the wall, 10 million annually. But the vast majority are Chinese tourists. As a local saying goes, one who fails to reach the Great Wall is not a true man. From all corners of the country they come to pay tribute to an ancient feat of engineering that shaped their nation. Clinging to this cliff for 1,500 years, the Hanging Temple of Hengshan. While millions visit the Great Wall, at any one time, only 80 people are allowed inside this temple. But why did the ancients build a temple that could be dashed on the rocks below? Superstition.
它这个地方经常发洪水的，这也是传说，说有些老百姓呀，在这儿建一个寺庙吧，让佛的力量来保护我们，平平安安的走过去。
246 feet above the canyon floor, it was built beneath an overhang to shelter it from the element.
这个悬空室为了它那个延年益寿啊。 我们现在啊，本来悬空室现在是登顶人数太多。
It was cutting-edge ancient engineering that still works today, irrigating a land that would otherwise be a giant dust bowl. It's not just about clean drinking water. Incredibly, this desert produces tons of grapes annually. Without the canals, the Uyghurs' major export would wither on the vine. And the true scale of production is revealed from the air. They may look like honeycomb, but these mud brick blocks are used to air dry millions of grapes into raisins. Without modern materials and technology, the ancients triumphed, turning nature to their advantage. Here there's plenty of water, but stopping it draining away is the problem. 1,300 years ago, the local Hani people miraculously transformed the landscape. To grow their crops, they hand-carved rice paddies into the mountains to trap the water. Rising above 6,000 feet and spreading over 386 square miles, larger than the size of New York City, the terraces harness the power of the mountain's natural ecosystem. It acts like a giant recycling machine. The water evaporates from the river valleys to form fog and cloud. The clouds are then trapped by the mountain forests, and then rain falls and flows back down through the terraces in a never-ending cycle. This type of wet field agriculture was invented in China. And using these ancient farming traditions passed down through the generations is how China feeds the biggest population on Earth. In this rugged landscape, food is scarce, made worse by the harshest of winters. To survive, the local Kazakhs depend on a tradition more than 1,000 years old. To do something most would imagine impossible. To train a wild eagle to hunt.
Қай жақта маңызды деген жаңағы енді құстың өзі әртүрлі өзім көтергендегі өзімнің құс көтергендегі негізгі тәжірибемді үйретіп жатқан. Құсты баптауы мысалы. Отырғызу, қою, алып жүруі осы секілді нәрселер. Енді мен де өзім әкем сөйтіп үйретіп кеткен, енді өз ұрпағыма, өз баладама мен де әкем құсап сол өз білгенді білдіріп үйретіп кетсем деген арманым ғой.
The golden eagle, one of the world's most effective birds of prey. They can spy a rabbit at 2,000 yards and dive at 150 miles per hour, the speed of a bullet train. And its talons grip with 10 times the force of a man's hand. Catching their food in this ingenious way has kept small villages from destitution. But it also helps to protect a species that's now endangered. Mature adults are released back into the wild, an act that resonates with the Kazakh belief that eagles are a symbol of freedom, and their numbers in the region are reportedly once again on the rise. Here, taking a trip to the market is not as simple as it seems. It involves a death-defying slide. Zip-lining across several hundred feet of wild rapids doesn't bother 60-year-old grandmother Pooh, as she's been doing it all her life. This ingenious method, now replaced with modern steel cable, is the fastest way to make it across. And a thrilling ride over the dangerous rapids. At the market, Grandmother Pooh is rewarded with a quick sale. A land as remote as you could imagine, with huge expansive plains covering 4,000 square miles. This is the home of the Kazakhs. And it was here, 5,500 years ago, the Kazakhs began to tame wild horses.
Қазақ, біздің қазақ халқы негізінен осы тауда, жайлауда мал бағып өткен халық. Бұның ата тегінен енді сондай малшы болғандығы үшін малға ең алғаш бала туылғаннан кейін ақ үш жас.
The Kazakhs have a millennia-old reputation for breeding some of Asia's best war horses. Today, the horses are bred and trained for the highly competitive annual event known as the Heavenly Horse Festival. This year, Tuolyu's son will be racing for the first time.
Мен сонша уақыт жаратқан кезде сол атымыз жарысқа қосқан делінсе деп сондай армандаймыз, сол басқа арман жоқ.
The endurance event is a grueling and even dangerous 3-day race. On day 1, they cover 50 miles. And on day 3, they endure a testing 62-mile final leg. For Aniwa and the Kazakh people, this is not just a race, but a chance to proudly display their horses and their skill honed over centuries. After 62 miles in the saddle, he finally finishes towards the back of the field. But next year, he'll return with dreams of winning. They're creating their own history. This is a new festival, but based on a 17th century tradition when fishermen carved lanterns from ice. Over the next week, artists will race to transform this plentiful local resource into a giant frozen wonderland. The Harbin Ice and Snow Festival.
我们应该说享受这种就是上帝赐予我们这种温度的乐趣，在冰雪之中是吧？打开自己的胸怀，去拥抱全世界，对吧？
This event has grown into the largest ice festival in the world.
"最大的挑战，第一就是我们的天气，因为我们现在工期非常紧，这样的话呢，所有的冰呢都是采自于松花江，这样你要温度厚度达不到，我们就没法建设。好在今天还好。 这每个景观就是都是好像孩子，像我的孩子一样，一点一点的看着他们长大的，就是完全是发自内心的想把这个事情不单纯是一个工作，而想把这个冰雪大世界建成一个，把它变成一个艺术的一个冰质的宫殿，展现给世界各地的游客。
Opening day is here. A city of ice has risen, covering an area the size of 150 football fields. But it's the night which sees the ice city in its full splendor. By standing on the shoulders of their ancestors, the Chinese have, through ingenious agriculture and engineering traditions, become a nation that's developed from a poor rural backwater to one of the fastest developing countries in the history of mankind.